All right, I'm going live. Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. My goodness. Good morning. How are we today? I'm a few minutes late, right? Wow. So anyway, let me just get adjusted here. Oh, remember when I was saying that Labor Day was this demarcation line and good morning, Marilyn, and that we're all, figuring out what we're working towards and taking a day. And hi, Jacob. The fall or the autumn, so to speak, the autumn season, the unofficial autumn season after Labor Day hit with a force. And so I just immediately kind of shifted into gear and had gotten myself pretty busy, very busy. So I don't even have everything in order that I need to for Smart Start, but I'm going to wing it. Hi, Beverly. So today I thought, hey, Chris, good morning. I thought my glasses are filthy. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought, so in case you're new to Smart Start, Smart Start is a way to start your day. Begin with a piece of art, looking at some art, maybe throw in some theory, and you get to tell me what you think. And it's a good way to energize our day, refocus ourselves, lose ourselves, find ourselves anew, and really give our minds something interesting to think about. Especially, I know we have a lot of artists on the feed, but people who aren't involved in the arts, I think it's a real necessary way of beginning. So let's see hi, Eunice, good morning. Hi, Jamie. Hi, George. Hi, Patty. Hi, Raymond. Raymond, it's good to see you here. So today I thought, as on Thursdays we do some theory, I thought, it would be fun to look at. I actually wanted to start with Elizabethan collars, and I just couldn't find enough material on them. But I'm going because I didn't have a lot of time to research it. So, but that's definitely something I want to look at is Elizabethan collars in art history, because I know an artist who's presently working with them, and I thought that would be interesting. So anyway, I'm trying to get this in order. I want to look at drapery. I think, hi, John Boy. Hi, Mary Ellen. Jacob, you're so funny. Oh, my mother just joined, and I don't have her music in front of me, but dun, da, da. There she is. Phyllis is in the room. Eunice, preparing for the hurricane in Miami. Please tell us what that's like. I know that there have been really long lines for sandbags and such at gas stations and things. And it's ominous. It really sounds ominous. My God. Hi, Raid. Okay. So let's start with a very early sculpture from the Hellenistic period. And in Greek art we have a few different periods: the archaic, the high Greek. Hey, Stephen. Hi, Kathleen. Nice to see you. The Hellenistic period ushers in a time where there really has this catching of the moment, that the figures, the sculptures have kind of loosened up. And, I'll just give you a quick art history for anybody who doesn't know. We started with the sculptures that are very stiff and staid, kind of the athlete, and then the contrapposto, the bending of the knee. In the Hellenistic period, hi, Jeffrey, we get to see this catching of the moment, and I think that there's no better statue. And this is at the Met. Good morning, Stephanie. Yay, Stephanie's back again today. So happy. This little statue at the Met, and it's among the Greek section, and there's huge statues all around it, and this little one that's in this vitrine just captures you from across the galleries, and she's just dancing, right? And she has this amazing, hey, Jeffrey, she has this amazing drapery, and it's a bronze sculpture. And so I really love the incredible treatment in this period of time to drapery, this is bronze, yet hey, Thomas, you can absolutely feel the sense of the drapery in this, the fabric. And I just think it's masterful, and it just feels like it ushers in a whole new way of thinking for the artists in using, which is really, bronze is a hard stone, right? So we're talking about something that is very hard and not easily malleable. And hi, Heidi. And I just love this. I just really love this. Hey, Peter, how are you? Look at this from 1390. Klaus Sluter, Three Mourners, from the tomb of John the Fearless, the Duke of Burgundy. This was an amazing exhibit at the Met also that I got to see. Heidi, good morning. And again, let's take a look at this drapery. These are sculptures. Hi, Don. Nice to see you here. Good morning. These are sculptures, and yet look at the treatment to the drapery. It's almost as if you can feel it. You can feel the folds. It's got this softness to it that I love. I just love that kind of malleable softness in this medium that is anything but, right? So I want to bring you to a piece. I'm sorry, I don't have an attribute on this. I was really rushing. Oh, you're only 5 minutes late. No, we started late. Don't worry, Don. So again, we see this is if I had to guess, we're talking about France, Gothic period, something like Notre Dame, maybe earlier. I'd say Chartres, but I'm not even sure. But again, look at this drapery on the Madonna. Incredible drapery. It's almost as like a wind is blowing, right? And again, we're talking about stayed statues, and yet this treatment to drapery is just amazing. Hey, Chio Holstein, nice to have you here with us. I want to show you, and I want to hear what you have to say about the drapery, because I just love it. I just love it, right? Look at this. This is again from the Mourners, the Three Mourners, the tomb of John the Fearless, the Duke of Burgundy. This was an amazing exhibit at the Met, just amazing. And look at his hood. Look at that hood. Doesn't it make you want to like drape yourself? Doesn't it make you want to kind of just wrap yourself up and stay close, right? It's just so beautiful and so masterful at the same time. Good morning, Stephanie. And I really, in looking through art history, looking at artists' work, there's so many ways to look at the work, right? And there's so many ways for us to see it. And so for Thursdays, I try to pick out one specific look at it. Hey, Jason, nice to see you here. Jason, we're talking about drapery. Here's a study of drapery. I'm not sure. Again, I don't have an attribute to this. But again, this voluminous material and the detail within the material, I just love so much. And just that sense of it, that kind of overflowing. I want to read you some scholarship that was done from Christie's, the art auction house. But before that, I want to pull up one quick thing. Okay, I'll leave this. Though often taken for granted, drapery binds modern abstract painting with antiquity. And I think that's really interesting. I like that concept. I'm sorry, let me just find out what I want to say here. Okay, let's go to this. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when I have too much on my plate. And I'm going to tell you why I have too much on my plate. Because do you know what I do also? Is I really work very, very hard to create artists for markets for artists. So yesterday was a big day for me in getting artwork out there to collectors and making sales. And I literally did not move from this spot all day, just making offerings and figuring out what collectors may like, what they may need and such. So Okay, Thomas says, kind of reminds me of the costumes from Star Wars. I wonder if yes, you know what? I really like that, Thomas. I really like that. Because you do have that. You do have pop culture being informed by art history. Certainly the people that are making these movies and such, they have a large, I like to believe they have a large repertoire in their minds. They're creative people. And I do believe that they are looking towards art history. I absolutely love that connection, Thomas. Thank you. Chris says, I really love the attention to detail and understanding with drapery and folds. Are you familiar with Laws of Folds? I think his book is... No, I'm not, Chris, but thank you. I'll get familiar now. Hey, Brenda. Yeah, I agree, Jason. I agree. This is a tough time, these hurricanes. Hi, Echo. So I wanted to look at Duccio also, because I think that, and this is from some scholarship from Sotheby's, she says, two giants of early Italian painting, Duccio and Giotto, used drapery in beguiling different ways. Duccio, who was from Siena, a town that prided itself on the magnificence of its textiles, clothes his figures in sweeping, sinuous folds of stuff that exist on one level to advertise the wares of his native city. I never thought of that, right? And that wasn't something that came to mind. And that doesn't necessarily mean that this is, this is exactly the truth of this, or however. It's subjective, right? This is one person's opinion, which I really think is fascinating. Oh, Chris, thank you for that. Very good. And she says, but he also deploys his mastery of painting fine silks and damasks to enhance his telling of the story of Christ's passion. Christ is the only one of his figures to wear a robe braided with sinuous threads of gold, so that you can follow his progress from panel to panel of the predella of the Maestro. Even with half-crossed eyes, his movement towards death and beyond into resurrection becomes the journey of the golden thread. Do you see where she means here? This golden thread moving through. Its perfection persisting through whatever troubles destiny drags it through. So I think that's I love the way I love when people write about art history. I love when they, again, in a very subjective way, just they kind of put their take on it through the research and scholarship that they have done. I just love it. Kathleen says, drapery has been my favorite thing to draw since I began painting. It has worked its way into my paintings and is definitely a connection between antiquity, yes, and contemporary abstraction. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. So yeah, I think that is so true, this connection. I want to show you the Giotto, of which, and I am going to post this scholarship from which I am reading. Okay, so here's the Giotto piece. So Giotto, by contrast, has a much more sober, monumental conception of drapery. And as I'm reading this, I immediately think, is it because his bodies are much more monumental, right? He always had these kind of stocky bodies, as opposed to the more, I think, sinuous and less stocky bodies of Duccio. But anyway, the figures in his Arena Chapel frescoes are draped heavily in huge swags and folds of clothes that resemble costumes carved from marble, like we saw, right? The artist uses their sheer weight as an expressive device in different ways. In the forbidding betrayal scene, as Judas kisses Jesus, he also sweeps his body into a great veil of his cloak, as if walling him into a world of treachery with the very clothing that he wears. I love that. I love that. Isn't that, that kind of, I love that. So I want to go to another one for you. And I'm mindful from my husband, Gene, that a lot of times we're a few seconds behind on the feed. So if I go too quickly, I'm really sorry. I want to show you this. Okay. Love this. Now, this is from the workshop of Robert Campin, who is known as, hi Alex, the master of Flamal. And it's attributed, it could be attributed to Jacques Deray. Jason, I love Duccio also. Oh, I'm glad, Brenda. It's a nice diversion from hurricane preparations. Jeez, I know this is awful. I really like, Kathleen, that's such an interesting connection. Jim Dine's robe series. I have to post that. Okay, so Thomas says again, was there also some function to the drapery, like keeping cool, warm, protection, concealment of important things? Thomas, are you an artist? This is very good connections. I want to read you something about, speaking of, hidden concealment. So we're talking about here the Virgin and Child, 1942. I just want to, did I say 1942? 1432. My God, I'm sorry. I want to find the information about it. I'm really sorry. I'm so disorganized today. I just spent all day yesterday. Sell. Hi, Saeed. Hey, Z. Good morning. What has been said about this, and I think it's to Thomas's point so well. Look at how beautiful the drapery is done on the Virgin in this piece. And so he talks about concealment, Thomas does, and I really think that he hits on a point, because what are we concealing here of the Madonna? We're concealing her body. We're showing very little of it, just the flowing of this drapery. And she's holding the baby, she's kissing the baby, and someone had likened it to almost like she becomes like this thin wafer, which I think is very, very interesting. And you really you see her knees, and then you just see all of the drapery. You're not really seeing a body. So to your point, Thomas, which is an excellent one, I think that concealment of important things, meaning the human body of the Virgin, yes, I think that was intentional. Jason says, the colors get so much more detail, and I love how the painting with primary colors to manipulate the viewer's eye, almost to set up for neoclassicism in the future. Absolutely. Love that. Love that. So I want to go to, all right, so then we come here. Now look at this. Talk about drapery. In motion, in movement, right? We have Botticelli, the incredibly famous, oh, good, Z. I'm so glad. Z, I really like your work. I love what you do with the masterpieces. I don't know if you remember having met me on Saturday. I was there. I didn't want to interrupt the flow of your room by me being there. But I really had a really good time in that room. There's a particular piece. It's one of my favorites. It's, as you walk in, it's on the right. It's dark, and it's image in the center with kind of glass or something around. If you want to post it or tell me about it, I liked it. Talking about Governor's Art Fair. So I did a piece for it on Cheddar, as you all know. So anyway, we have Botticelli here. Yes, absolutely correct, Kathleen. Her hair becomes drapery with the same function and flow. So to Thomas's point, she's also covering herself with her hair, but there's also, it's as if it's its own drapery. I love that. Love that. Let's go back. Well, actually, I'm the same thing. This is Descent from the Cross. And again, to Thomas's point about concealment, what are we seeing? I mean, in this drapery is really a part of the story here. It is really enhances and brings the story. I had some things written on it. Okay, so here we go. As the story of the Passion reaches its climax here, let me go. Mary and other mourners collapse around Jesus' dying and then dead body. Their forms remain monumental, precisely because of the drapery. Well, they remain monumental, but they're also, what I see in Mary is that there's almost this kind of sense of collapse, And I think, good morning, Elizabeth. This sense of collapse and the drapery, as if the drapery is also collapsing. But again, to Thomas's point, her hand is on her hip and it's slightly protruded, but that's the only point of concealment. Only point of really where you see the shoulders, a waist, her hip. But again, we're covered. The drapery is covering it all. Good morning, Colin. How are you? I want to go to, did I show you Leonardo's fabric study? And again, great work, just great work. And then this brings me to, because I had a really good, I had so many good art history professors. I really can't say enough about them. And one of the professors was for my contemporary, not contemporary, but yeah, I think it was a contemporary course. He really felt strongly that Clifford Still was working with fabric. Now, I found this piece, this early work of Still's, in which we can definitely see that there is a treatment to fabric here, right? But he had likened it to this work. He said for him and for his way of thinking that it was very reminiscent of this kind of drapery of the Renaissance and earlier. And I just loved that connection. I loved that connection that he made. I was riveted by it. And can you see it? Do you see? So I think that's a very important notion, that drapery is the through line in many ways, or setting up for abstraction without even understanding that at the time. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, Don? Look at this. Look at that. You just see it. Thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, it's a great connection with Still. It was Richard Kalina, who's also a contemporary artist. He's married to Valerie Jordan, an amazing artist. Valerie shows with a very good gallery that I do quite a bit of work with, DC Moore in New York, and I love that gallery. And Richard shows with, it slips my mind right now, but he was a really excellent professor. Tough. He didn't like me. But that's okay. I learned a lot. I still quote him. It's not a popularity contest. It's imparting knowledge, right? So, and yeah, let's see what this is. I only see the comments. The top of the screen is black. Oh, Elizabeth, yes, please come back later, okay? Heidi, love this connection, the movement, intent, and feeling of the piece. I agree. Hi, Joseph. So for this kind of Theory Thursday, really wanted to make that connection and have our eye kind of look at that and look at that sense throughout art history, how it is connected. Oh, I forgot to show you this, but look at this one, right? Look at Cezanne as really moving towards modernity, cubism, and such. Look at these. Look at the drapery. Again, yeah. Thank you, Brenda. Yeah, I love Still also. Love Clifford Still. When you see these monumental paintings, it is just, and to see them in one place is really wonderful. There was a particular show I went to years ago, I think, but also the Met has quite a few. So that's my Theory Thursday. Here's what I want you to do. We're going to play Guess Who tomorrow. But for today, I want you to post images of drapery that either if you drew it, you like it, your favorite pieces in art history, because I am clear that I'm sure that I missed a lot. I chose particular pieces, but I didn't, there's obviously so much more. So I would love to see what you're thinking about in terms of drapery and art history, because that also informs me. I have a really packed day today. Let's see. Love Michelangelo's drain. Yeah, I agree, Kathleen. And I was going to put Michelangelo. We had talked about, I mean, really, the Pietà. Could there be any better drapery? But I thought I wanted to show things, other kind of widen the net. But let's post that and post the pieces that you like, Jason. I can't help but think of Robert Morris's felt installations. Very good, Jason. Let's do I sound like I'm yelling? Oh my God. Let's post those, okay? That's great. I love these connections. I just love it. That's why we do this. So hope you guys have a really good Thursday. I am on my way to St. John the Divine, the cathedral in Manhattan. I am going to be giving a few tours because I love working with students. And students vary from young children all the way up to Columbia University students. And I really love being able to reach a group of people who may come to the place otherwise going, I really don't care, another Gothic cathedral, and really bringing it to life. So I feel like that's also, that's Smart Start in real time. But anyway, I'll let you know how it went tomorrow. I will see you guys all for Guess Who tomorrow. Please post images of drapery, any connections that you make. Just post them to this feed, okay? Because if they get posted outside of this feed, then what I like to do is on my Facebook page, it's really important that I keep this feed to be the feed for the day, because then I check the numbers on who's watching and kind of the demographics of it, and so that everything happens within the same feed of the day, if that makes sense. Okay, thank you guys so much. Wait, what does Jason say? This has been oh, cute. Thank you, Jason. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing your drapery. Thank you. Bye.